Hello my friends, it's Gabriel with the Last Huntsman Outdoors channel here, and here I have the DeEvolution Lifestyle Yupik 25. This is awesome knife from a company up in Montana. Let's check this knife out. I'm going to do some batoning with it. Switch my hands around here. Full 0 ground convex and Elmax Steel. It's only 1/8 of an inch thick, but that convex ground, it actually just pops that wood pretty easily. Alright, so I'm going to do just a bit more batoning here with it. Got a piece of cedar. Got my good old beating stick. This being an Elmax will hold up to anything that you guys are gonna throw it through. My thoughts on Elmax Steel. I like Elmax Steel. I'm not like a super huge stainless guy. I've kind of warmed up to it over the years, but I will say Elmax is probably one of my more favorite stainless steels. I do think it's a little overpriced for what it is, quite frankly. I'm not just saying that as a user. I'm saying that also from just talking to other knife makers and such in the industry. It is a pretty expensive steel to use and produce, but it is really good. So take that what you guys will. All right, so another task I'm going to try with the Yupik 25 is I'm just going to do some slicing here. One of the things that I've noticed using this knife is just super slicey with that 1/8 of an inch thick Elmax steel with that convex grind. It's just a very slicey knife. So what they designed this knife, I got kind of a little deep in there. What they intended with this knife is that it was kind of both like a dual purpose hunting / bushcraft knife. And for that, they really achieved it. I think it would serve that role very well. Especially with how slicey it is and such. And like I said, they designed this and make it up in Montana. So definitely more of like a hunting bush tool, essentially. It's a fun knife to use. I wouldn't really classify this as like a main survival knife because it is just a 5-inch blade. I've always found 5-inch blades are kind of a weird size. It's between 4.5 and a 5-inch blade, but I've always found that's a kind of a weird size because it's a little big for a belt, like a EDC belt knife, but it's not quite a survival knife. I actually kind of like to put that size range as like what a lot of people would call like the dedicated camp knife size. All right, so the Yupik 25, it's not going to be like a heavy chopper. Like I said, it's only 1/8 of an inch thick, but because you kind of choke back on it, and with that convex grind, which I actually find generally chops pretty decent, you could take down some small stuff with it. There you go. It'll do the job if need be. DeEvolution Yupik 25. Try to do some feathers with it. Takes a little getting used to this knife just because it's that full convex grind, but once you get used to it, it makes them really fine little feathers. Just the main thing is this knife wants to bite and dig in, so you just gotta really get used to that edge and know that it wants to go on you. That's some fine little feathers with the Yupik 25. All right, so here is the Yupik 25 from DeEvolution. It's roughly 1/8 of an inch thick. It's made out Elmax steel with a full convex grind, a 0 ground convex grind. Very, very, very slicey knife. It kind of has a little extra hand space on it, so you kind of choke back on it. And they got 2 different models. You can get one with or without a choil. For this size of knife, I chose without a choil. I feel like this size of knife doesn't need a choil, but if you just really like choils, you can get one. It's roughly about a 5-inch blade. The sheath is really cool. It's a leather pouch style sheath. It has a lot of character to it for sure. But something else that's kind of neat about it is it has kind of like a cross draw attachment and a regular 90-degree attachment. So that's really neat. The sheath is high quality for sure. Another thing is I'll kind of compare it. Bear with me, I'm trying to do this with one hand here, to another knife that's in a kind of a similar size and kind of same function here. Is a Joker Knives Nomad. So if you like something that's like the Nomad but want something a little bit more thinner and slicier, the Yupik 25 is definitely one you should check out. All right, so another task I'm going to utilize the 90-degree spine for, so I'm going to just use it to scrape some bark. Wood I'm using here is a piece of cedar. I don't have a lot of pine in my area, so cedar's kind of the next best thing. You can get some fine little fluff there using the 90-degree spine with the DeEvolution Yupik 25. All right, so one test I'm going to do with the Yupik 25. So I'm going to just test out that 90-degree spine, see if I can get a little fire going. All right, strikes a rod pretty well. There we go. I just wasn't concentrating it good enough on my tinder there, but it does have a pretty sharp 90-degree spine, so it's going to do your fire work pretty well. All right, so one of the things with the Yupik 25 from DeEvolution that they kind of pointed out to me is they have this extended pommel on there, and of course I like to call that the attitude readjustment, but one of the things that they really hyped it up for is that it's supposed to be kind of a alternative digging tool. Now obviously I wouldn't suggest using a knife for a digging tool. However, for just something quick and small, this thing actually does the trick pretty good, really. So another task I'm going to do with the Yupik 25 is I'm going to do some notches here. Start off with a square notch. Bites in really good. I've always kind of had mixed opinions on I don't know if I can. It's about to pop out of there. Can't quite get it. There we go, pretty decent little square notch. I've always had mixed opinions on convex grinds. It's kind of one of those, I either really like them or I don't. This one, I actually do like it quite a bit. There's notch for like your tent stakes. While I'm at it, let's just try to go ahead and do a cross grain baton here. See how that Elmax holds up. Perfectly fine. All right, so I'm going to wrap up the review on the DeEvolution Lifestyle Yupik 25. So overall, I like this knife a lot. It's a very just handy and practical knife. The I don't know if you guys hear the owl in the background. I'll try talking back to him. See if he responds. But the Yupik 25 is a really awesome, just bushcraft hunting knife. I haven't really got a chance to go out and deer hunt with it yet, and I kind of wanted to, but it's been like 80 to 90 degrees still, and not really good deer hunting weather. Overall, the knife just performs everything really good. If you want just that broad, slicey, bushcrafty type of blade, this is definitely it. It has that really neat leather kind of cross draw sheath, which honestly you don't see. And this owl is having a conversation with me. By the way, a good little survival tip, or I guess just woodsman tip in general, is learn to communicate with the animals out here. Could kind of help you out in some ways. But anyways, something about the Yupik 25 too, that I will note, that the ergonomics is really good. The overall look and feel of it is really neat. And something that I like about it too is, you know, you start getting into a lot of knives, and I've said this before, some of them just start kind of looking the same. However, the Yupik 25 is pretty unique, especially in like kind of the bushcraft community. So tell me what you guys think. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. With all that being said, be prepared both physically and spiritually. God bless, and carry on.